Well, the Death Stranding 2 previews are hitting, and it's really reinforcing one of my predictions that this is a lead game this year for Game of the Year. I know a lot of people think that Expedition 33 sort of has it in the bag, but I want to break down some of the things that people are saying about Death Stranding 2 that really reinforces me thinking that Kojima has secured a lead position. It's going to be a close race no matter what. I think we're eating good as gamers. Doesn't really matter what game wins when the games are at this caliber. Now, if you like these quick videos and breakdowns, be sure to hit like and subscribe. That way you can kind of check out the live streams and the other content that I do. So one of the things that really came out of the previews is the graphics. People were sort of blown away at how good the game looked, and they were even more so surprised they were playing on base PS5s. So they weren't like flexing PS5 Pro enhancements to really sort of wow the press and make them praise the game for its looks. They were playing it on the base PS5, and many people remarked about the opening of the game, seeing that it wasn't some cutscene fully rendered. It was actually in-engine. It transitions right in to gameplay. Skillup described it as like one of the best openings, one of the most stunning things he's kind of ever seen, and he also said similar things about a boss fight in the game, just absolutely breathtaking. And the graphics alone, I think, don't make a game, but I do think it's incredibly important for Death Stranding given the immersion into the world and the traversal. So let's talk about the traversal. They are saying that the traversal has been not made easier, but a little less cumbersome and troublesome. Like, you're not going to have an easy time, but it's not going to be quite the sticky point that it was in the first game. They're not taking that away. It still is a game about traversal and delivering packages, but multiple previews that I checked out said that it didn't seem quite as frustrating as it was in the first game, so that should help newer players get into it. Something that SkillUp noted in his preview was that a ton of people that weren't really big on Death Stranding 1 walked away really excited about Death Stranding 2. It sounds like Kojima really took a lot of the feedback from people who kind of bounced off of Death Stranding 1. I was one of those people, and now it's one of my favorite games. But it was tough to get into. It was very slow, and many of the previews highlighted how this game just sort of gets you into it a lot quicker this time around, and that should be something that people really enjoy. And another piece of feedback they got was that, combat could have been quite a bit better. They added some things in the director's cut of Death Stranding 1, and seemingly they're wanting to expand on that even more. Lots of praise for how the combat feels, but there was a huge emphasis still on stealth. Many people are making comparisons to Metal Gear, saying that it very much feels very adjacent to that and similar to that. Not surprising, it's Kojima, but they did appreciate that. Like, there were just opportunities to really enjoy stealth, and there wasn't really any indication though that stealth or combat was going to be significantly harder. The boss fights are described as very stunning and big and very impressive looking, but nothing is described in a way that's like extremely challenging. Kojima was quoted as saying he really wants people just to sort of be able to move forward in the game. He doesn't want you sort of getting stuck in a fight or some situation that's like extremely challenging. There was also feedback on the UI system. Not quite as persnickety and cumbersome navigating the UI system. That was a piece of feedback. So Death Stranding 1 versus Death Stranding 2, it does sound like if you understand the systems of the first game, you're going to be able to get right into this and really enjoy how everything sort of evolved and made better. There's biomes, there's weather systems, there's day-night cycles. It's really a gorgeous looking game, but it also seems far more expansive. But if you really didn't get into Death Stranding 1, it also sounds like you're going to be able to get into this one a lot quicker and really enjoy a lot of that implemented feedback from players. And there is sort of a story like so far thing you'll be able to enjoy. I would really recommend playing Death Stranding 1. You might not have time. It is a huge game, and the release date for Death Stranding 2 is ever approaching. But the previews really cement my idea that this is one of the front runners for Game of the Year. Like, if it wasn't for Expedition 33, I would feel like Kojima kind of had the year on lock. The press has really warmed up to him and his ideas, and Death Stranding 1 has sort of aged like a fine wine. And the way that the press is talking about Death Stranding 2 is extremely high and glowing, and going to be a knockdown, drag-out fight this year. I'd be curious what you think. Who do you think the frontrunners are going to be this year for Game of the Year? Leave a comment below. I do try to reply to as many as I can. And remember, if you want to catch my other uploads and live streams, hit like, share, and subscribe so I can see you in the next video.